First of all, production schedule. The script is written. Steve insisted on a script. Even though you couldn't script Monty Hall's ad libs, you would script the show by saying, what is this deal? Then he would put it into words. He would write things like, Monty comes down the aisle and says to a contestant, how would you like to make a deal? Of course, I'm going to ad lib all these things. But he wanted it in script form. What is the prize? What's the description of the prize? So that everybody backstage knew where the prize was going to be, behind the door or in a box, so that everybody knew where it was and so on. Now the script is finished. Now you take it to the studio. Everybody backstage, up in the control room, knows the script. The announcer has his script. Jay knows what zonks they're going to be on the show. Carol Maryland knows where she's going to be for how she goes to open up the refrigerator door, what's inside the refrigerator, pull out the prize, show the prize. And now you have to rehearse all these things. Is it on its mark? Does Carol know that when she takes, is the price on top of the refrigerator? If she opens up the refrigerator, does she take the frozen foods out of it and display it? Or if it's 5 items on the table, in what order they are with a little price underneath them, everything has to be on its mark and shown. So that's what they rehearsed all day long. We started off by doing 2 shows a night. Do same audience, 1 show, 15-minute turnaround, do show number 2. That allowed us to take all the prizes out in the storage space behind, bring the new prizes in behind the doors and so on, and Monty to change his clothes and so on, and Carol to change her clothes. At some points, to try and get these shows done ahead of time, we would do 2 shows on a Friday night and 4 on a Saturday. We do 2 at noon and 2 at night. I said to Steve one day after the 4th show on Saturday, just get an ambulance, back it up to the studio door because I'm going right from here to the hospital. I can't do 4 shows. It's like a decathlon. Each show for me, running up and down the stairs and ad-libbing so on, took so much out of me. I was in a pool of sweat at the end of a show. And not really. I mean, I refused to sweat. But I mean, I was just working myself to pieces. And so I said, I cannot do more. I cannot do this many shows. So we started doing 2 a night for 4 or 5 nights to work ahead. And then in later years, I could do 3 shows a day. I would do 1 at noon, take off a few hours, plenty of rest, and then 2 at night. How long did the show last? You would be amazed to know that unlike so many shows on television, game shows and so on, our shows ran 28 and a half minutes, or whatever it was, 30-minute shows, 30 minutes. We did not stop the tape because we would lose our momentum. Now let me tell you a little story about that. The show starts. We do the opening. We do the first deal. I go off stage. A 2-minute commercial rolls in, or a minute and a half, whatever it is. I go do the second deal, another commercial. Do the third deal, commercials. Finish the show on time. We knew exactly how much time we had, and we did it. No stopping the tape. You stopped only in case an accident happened on the set. Maybe Jay would come down the aisle, and his table would fall over, and everything would fall down. We would stop the tape for that. Or I can't remember stopping for anything else, unless something fell or broke. But we wanted to keep the show going for the 30 minutes in full momentum. Now then, we go down. In our last year we did the show at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. The last year we did the show live. 1991. They built us a set, not to our specifications, but to their brilliant minds how a set should be built. No room behind the doors. You needed all that room. You needed 40, 50 feet to take a car out and bring a car and to take out these dining room sets and bring other stuff. No, they had no room behind. You had to go all the way down the studio. So we could not do that in a 2-minute commercial break. We do the deal. Now we got commercials. But we had to bring all the prizes had to be taken down the long length of the corridor in this huge studio, and all the new ones brought in and so on. You couldn't do it in 2 minutes. I'm out in front of the audience, ad-libbing with the audience, keeping them going, having a lot of fun with them to keep their enthusiasm up. but it used to take me 40 minutes to do a 30-minute show because of all the time wasted in setting the prices and a new crew out in Florida, not familiar with what we did here. And that's why when we build a set, we'd say you've got to have all this space behind for storage so that things can be moved in and moved out behind the doors quickly. Move them out and move them in. If you have to do all this down the bowling alley, down at the other end of the studio, it doesn't work. So we always believed a show has to be done in 30 minutes. It had to be done to time because you keep up the pace and the momentum and the audience and so on. And that's why it was always called the fastest moving show on television. Today, when you look at the reruns today, you sit back and you're amazed at how the pace of that show and the speed of the show is done.